Welcome back, guys. Scoopy here. Yeah, so you guys know, the latest episode of One Piece came out, and as we all expected, we saw Ruffy's Gear 5 transformation animated for the first time ever. For manga readers, we already knew what we're gonna see, but for anime watchers, not so much. To those disappointed in Gear 5, there are two main points I've seen from people so far in terms of criticism. First, that the Gear 5 animation style is jarring or inappropriate compared to the rest of Wano, and second, that there were too many flashbacks and not enough happened. I mean, the fight has just begun, but okay. Point 1 I think is most easily addressed. As I see it, the animation style for Gear 5 is a visual representation of so many core aspects of Luffy and the idea of Joy Boy. It's pure silliness, it's wildly powerful, it's unadulterated freedom. These have always been core parts of Luffy's character and overarching themes in One Piece. He stands in stark contrast to Kaido, to the world government, to anyone who would trample on freedom. I personally love that they are taking this kind of risk, and I would much rather see something unique like this that plays well into the themes and characterization than something typical or safe that makes Gear 5 just another power-up. Point 2. While it's absolutely true that the Odin flashbacks were long and unnecessary, everything else fits the episode really well. I think that the bouncing animations that got repeated isn't a big deal, seeing as this is an intro for Gear 5. The animators that worked on this fight are literally the best at what they do, and the fight is only starting. So I really can't understand all the criticism, seeing as that the fight barely started. As a manga reader, all I can say is buckle up, for epic action scenes and good laughs. I am much more sympathetic to, and I personally agree that recaps, especially in an episode like this, can be a point of frustration. But in my opinion, it's an intro episode to Gear 5, and if you set aside the giant amount of hype that has been generated for a single episode, could it be reordered some to make this single episode solely focused on Gear 5? Perhaps, and I think that is a valid option, but I'm not inordinately upset that it followed the typical structure of a One Piece episode, for better or worse. I would have loved for it to be longer, but I think we'll get our fill of Gear 5 in the following episodes, and I couldn't be more excited. The episode itself represents Gear 5 the best way possible. Let me explain why. Let's dive into Luffy's newly awakened form and its game-changing power. In Chapter 1044 of the One Piece manga, fans learned that nearly everything we knew about Luffy's devil fruit was wrong. Initially, we were led to believe that Luffy's devil was a ridiculous and useless power he somehow managed to make formidable. However, the world government tried to hide the real identity of the devil fruit by renaming and reclassifying it to hide the truth. Only Imu and the 5 elders know the true nature of the fruit, and its existence was never recorded anywhere. However, the true name of the Gomu Gomu no Mi is the Hito Hito no Mi model, Nika Gear 5. Translated in English, the fruit's name is the Human model, Nika fruit. Like Chopper's Human fruit, it relates to a human form that allows a user to transform in ways other devil fruit users cannot. However, Luffy's Human devil fruit is different because it is also a mythical zone type, allowing him to gain the traits, powers, and abilities of the legendary sun god Nika, as well as transform his appearance to resemble the god and warrior of liberation. Devil fruit awakening occurs when a devil fruit user's mind catches up with their powers. When a devil fruit's power is awakened, the user's abilities become significantly more powerful, have greater control, and have new abilities they did not have access to previously. A devil fruit user's power awakening is typically signified by clouds surrounding their body. In Luffy's case, he unlocked his awakening during his final battle with Kaido at Onigashima. The devil fruit user who possesses Nika's power is said to grant the user's body unparalleled freedom, only being constrained by their imagination. Many One Piece fans have referred to Luffy's new form as Toon Force, because in this form, Luffy fights in a zany, cartoonish way. Gear 5. Luffy's form is the peak of his devil fruit powers, and gives him godlike abilities by letting him do anything he can imagine. For example, he can affect living beings, inanimate objects, create things from thin air, and defy the laws of physics. He can do almost anything, from changing lighting properties to wielding it as a weapon, to surpass the limits of his rubber body by growing to the size of a giant. Awakening the zone properties allows Luffy to become his free self, but it has some drawbacks. With great power comes great consequences and drawbacks. It takes time to master awakened devil fruit powers fully. If they are not fully mastered, they can still be used, but they take a severe toll on the user's stamina. To some degree, each of Luffy's forms has limitations and drawbacks. For example, with Gear 2, Luffy is essentially doping his blood to increase his stamina and speed, but that tends to exhaust him and gradually shorten his life. Despite the amazing power Gear 5 Luffy has, it may be the most detrimental to his health. Gear 5 consumes a lot of his energy to maintain and use. Luffy only used this for a short time, but it was enough to completely deplete his stamina to make him visible age due to exhaustion and fatigue. Joy Boy is an enigmatic character who was alive 800 years before Luffy, with much of his history and true identity still a mystery. He is mentioned in ancient texts as a liberator found throughout the series. When Luffy awakened his mythical Zoan-type power, and his heartbeat took on the sound of the drums of liberation, Zunesha, an ancient creature, stated that Joy Boy had returned. Some fans theorized that Luffy could be a reincarnation or descendant of Joy Boy, or Joy Boy could be a title reserved for the liberator of the oppressed, and Luffy is the successor to the title. Truthfully, it is still too early to know precisely how Joy Boy and Luffy's Gear 5 are connected. However, as Luffy's journey progresses, and he explores his new powers more, the connection between Luffy's power, Nika, and Joy Boy's legacy will be explored further. Well, that was my explanation. What's your take on this? Did you like the episode? Leave your opinion in the comments. I'm excited to see what's on your mind. See ya.